A stunning charge from inside the Gulf. A Saudi official has accused the United States of abandoning its Arab allies and redirecting its air defense systems to protect Israel. The claim comes as Iranian drones and missiles target multiple locations across the region. The official alleged that Gulf states hosting American bases were left exposed to Iranian strikes, even as Saudi Arabia and Qatar reportedly intercepted incoming drones. The message from Riyadh's circles was blunt. The regional war shadow, it appears, is widening fast. A Saudi official has accused the United States of prioritizing Israel's defense over its Gulf partners. According to the official, Washington abandoned us and redirected its air defense to protect Israel, leaving Gulf states hosting American military installations vulnerable to Iranian retaliation. The remark reflects mounting frustration in parts of the Gulf as tensions escalate between Iran and Israel, with U.S. assets increasingly drawn into the crossfire. The United States maintains significant military deployments across Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Bahrain, installations that now sit within potential range of Iranian operations. Iran's security leadership has signaled that operations will continue. A senior Iranian security official reportedly warned that American facilities would be attacked as long as they are under U.S. control. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Corps claimed it targeted several U.S. bases in retaliatory operations. The Gulf hosts some of the most critical U.S. military infrastructure in the world. In Qatar, Al Udeid Air Base serves as a major regional command hub. In Bahrain, the United States Navy Fifth Fleet operates as a central maritime force. These installations function as logistical and operational nerve centers for American presence in the Middle East. At the same time, Saudi Arabia has been urging fellow Gulf states to tread carefully, warning against actions that could inflame tensions with Tehran and pull the region into an even wider conflagration. It's a breathtaking balancing act: intercept incoming threats and defend national skies, but avoid the kind of provocation that could trigger a full-blown regional war. For the Gulf monarchies, containment now appears to be the only immediate strategy, a desperate effort to keep the violence from spiraling further and dragging their nations into a broader catastrophe.
For the second straight day, Iran's retaliatory strikes have spread beyond military targets and into the heart of the Gulf region's commercial and diplomatic hubs. In Abu Dhabi, debris from an intercepted drone damaged part of a complex housing the Israeli embassy and several international missions. The incident caused minor injuries to a woman and her child, according to the Emirates State Media Office. The debris struck the facade of the Etihad Towers complex after an interception triggered loud blasts heard across the capital, Reuters reported. Iran had vowed to target U.S. bases in the region following weekend strikes by Washington and Israel, but the widening pattern of attacks is now affecting civilian and commercial areas across major Gulf cities. In Dubai, 2 people were injured when shrapnel from intercepted drones fell onto residential homes. Overnight, damage was reported at Dubai International Airport, the landmark Burj Al Arab Hotel, and the Palm Jumeirah Island. At Jebel Ali Port, thick black smoke rose after debris from an intercepted missile sparked a fire at one of the berths. State-owned logistics giant DP World has temporarily paused operations at the port as a precaution. The company cited recent regional developments and government directives. Jebel Ali Port and its adjacent free trade zone account for more than a third of Dubai's gross domestic product and handle around 10% of global container traffic. The implications for trade and shipping could be significant. Large plumes of smoke were also seen rising from Abu Dhabi's Zayed port area, according to witnesses. In neighboring Oman, which had previously been spared, 2 drones struck the Duqm commercial port, wounding 1 worker. The development marks a notable expansion of the conflict's footprint. Blasts were also heard in Doha and across parts of the Gulf, underscoring how far the reverberations are spreading. Iran describes the strikes as retaliation, but the second day of attacks suggests a widening theater that now threatens aviation corridors, trade arteries, and diplomatic compounds. What began as a military exchange is rapidly impacting the economic lifelines of the Gulf. From embassy compounds to global shipping hubs, the region's stability is facing one of its most severe tests in years.
A night of shock and fire across the Gulf. Iranian missiles streaked across the skies after U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran, sending rare waves of explosions into cities that pride themselves on security and stability. In the UAE, blasts were reported in Dubai. Debris rained down near strategic infrastructure, and air defenses roared into action. In Abu Dhabi, tragedy struck. Regional tensions that once seemed distant have now reached the heart of the Gulf's commercial hubs. This is no longer shadow conflict, it is confrontation in the open. The first confirmed casualty in the UAE came from Abu Dhabi. Officials said 1 person was killed in an incident at Zayed International Airport. Airspace security across the region has been tightened as missile activity and interceptions continue. The airport, a major international gateway, became part of a wider emergency response as tensions surged. In Dubai, flames rose from Jebel Ali Port after shrapnel from an aerial interception ignited parts of the site. The Dubai media office said civil defense crews were working to fully contain and extinguish the fire. There were no immediate reports of injuries from the port blaze. Authorities emphasized that outdated videos from a 2021 fire at the same port were being recirculated online and warned that such footage could spread misinformation. Jebel Ali Port lies just south of Palm Jumeirah, where witnesses earlier reported hearing a powerful explosion and seeing smoke rising into the skyline. The incidents in the UAE followed Iranian missile launches toward multiple Gulf cities after U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iranian territory. Explosions were reported in several locations, shaking buildings and sending residents rushing for cover. Air defense systems activated across the region, intercepting incoming projectiles mid-flight. While many threats were neutralized, falling debris and shrapnel created secondary hazards on the ground. For Gulf states long seen as insulated from direct confrontation, the strikes marked a rare and alarming escalation. Commercial ports, airports, and iconic urban developments have now entered the conflict's perimeter. The economic impact is significant, especially for cities that function as global aviation and trade hubs. Officials continue to assess damage while reinforcing defensive measures. The broader regional picture remains volatile, with military operations and retaliatory actions raising fears of further escalation.